Good morning. It is 7:03. Wanted to jump on a little early to sound the notifications that I am indeed on live and invite y'all to come into this safe and sacred space. I am so happy to be with y'all this week. I'm happy to be with y'all every week, but I'm just happy I'm getting close to my favorite holiday, which is Thanksgiving. And for all of y'all that really know me know that I'm not famous for cooking, but I'm really excited that I'm gonna finally be able to bring something besides paper plates and cups and ice to the family Thanksgiving. So it's a big deal for me. It's actually very funny to me though. So but I'm excited. I'm just really just excited to be around all my family, my cousins, my nephews, I'm just really looking forward to seeing everybody. You know, time is short, and really is a good time to invest in whether you have with your family or with your friends. I hope that you have a blessed Thanksgiving. So today's topic, it comes from a place that I personally have experienced, and I know a lot of us go through this. It's the holiday season. It's getting ready. Now we're getting ready to have Thanksgiving, and there's Christmas, and there's the first of the year. And there's so many people are asking for things, whether it's gifts or your time, and you feel the pressure. Like you feel like, well, I have to attend every Christmas party. I have to attend every celebration. And do you? I mean, is there a part in your life that allows for you to say no? So today we're going to talk about the gift of no, and that no is indeed a complete sentence. Because I want to talk about something that's very simple but powerful. No is a complete sentence. We've been taught to soften our boundaries with explanations, excuses, and apologies. But the truth is, no doesn't need a comma, an apology, or a paragraph. No is enough. I remember a time when I said yes, I would say yes to things that I didn't have the energy for. I showed up tired, distracted, and resentful. I realized later that if I had simply just said no, I would have protected my peace and created space for what really mattered. That's when I began to understand that no was not a rejection, but a protection. Have there ever been situations and things that you showed up for because you felt obligated? Well, I should go because they were there for me, or I should participate in this event because this. And when you show up, if you're showing up resentful and tired, then you're not showing up as your best self. Then you're better off not going. If you can't attend something where you are full of energy, you're showing up as your best self, and this particular event or situation speaks to who you want to be in your spirit, why are you going? Sometimes it's good, people like to go to things to be seen and to be able to say, oh, well, I was at this and I was at that. Hello, Renee, and happy Friday. I love me some Renee Spencer. So, but oftentimes we show up for things, and if you have been like me, I was resentful. I was there. I could have been at home, resting. I could have been spending more time doing something that was more creative for me or felt better in my spirit. So when we begin to understand that, we understand that when we say no, it's not a rejection, it's a protection. Because let's be honest, saying no is hard. And here are 5 reasons why we struggle with it. Number 1, fear of disappointing others. We worry that we will let someone down, so we carry the weight instead. Let me repeat that again. We will worry that we will let somebody down, so we carry the weight instead. If you are walking in your authentic self and it's a healthy relationship, you shouldn't be afraid that you're going to disappoint others. They understand that you have a life, and that no is not a reflection of them. It may be more of a redirection, like you said, to protect, like I said earlier, to protect your peace. But we often struggle to say no because we don't want to disappoint others. Number 2, desire to be liked. We think by saying yes, we earn approval, but oftentimes it costs us our peace. How many times have we said yes to things or people or situations because we want to be liked, we don't want to be excluded. We're afraid if we say no, well, they may not invite me again, so I'm going to show up even though I've worked a 60-hour work week and I'm dealing with sick parents, or I'm dealing with I'm doing my own crisis. I'm going to show up anyway. Desire to be liked is another reason why it's difficult to say no. Number 3, guilt and obligation. We confuse responsibility with over responsibility, and guilt often whispers to us and say we owe more than we can give. Guilt will get in that ear and say, well, you're a Christian and you should participate in this and you should do this and you should do that, and well, you should, you're obligated, you're responsible. Listen, you can be responsible, but there were times in my life I was over responsible. And over responsibility means that I'm taking on the ownership of other people's choices and actions. It is not my responsibility to make sure that everybody's happy. That's not mine responsibility. It's not my responsibility to make sure everybody's good. That's not my responsibility. Each of us have our own unique responsibilities. You're responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your choices. If I've got to own mine, you've got to own yours. And over responsibility says, I am going to make sure you're good at the cost of me being bad. And that's a concept that a lot of people go through. We will bend over backwards because we allow that over responsibility and that guilt to get in our brains and convince us that somehow, some way, that making sure that everybody's all right, making sure that this situation happens is somehow our obligation. Has anybody ever done that? Number 4, cultural conditioning. Many of us have been taught that good people always say yes, even at their own expenses. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Native American, we all in our cultures have been taught, give, be supportive, be kind, be nice, extend well wishes and everything to everybody else. And so it's an outburst from these cultures that oftentimes send us into over obligation, and that we should say yes to everything. There's a cookie sale at school. You want to make some cookies? Yes. You going to show up for this? Yes. You going to come to this? Yes. And if you say no, you're seen as someone, well, look at her. She's not very nice because she said no. No, I'm a very nice person. I'm very kind. I'm very considerate. I've just learned that I have to protect my boundaries at all costs, that I have to, if I don't feel like showing up, I shouldn't feel guilty because I don't want to go. I shouldn't feel disappointed because I'd rather spend more time invested with my grandkids, or just writing my books, or just whatever. Our cultures tell us that somehow, in order to be a good Christian, a good Buddha, a good whatever your higher power is, you must bend over backwards. And that's not true. And number 5, fear of missing out. We say yes because we're afraid of missing on opportunities, even when they drain us. So sometimes we'll say, like I said earlier, we desire to be liked, so we don't want to miss out on things. Well, they won't ask me again. And then that fear of missing out. Well, if I don't go to this, if I don't participate in that, then I'm going to miss this and I'm going to miss that. What God got for you, it is for you. What experiences you're supposed to have, you're going to have. So you shouldn't fear missing out on anything if you're saying no is an opportunity to feed your spirit. Now, I know there's someone thinking, well, she surely is selfish. She's telling us to say no to things. I'm not selfish. I'm protected. I respect my boundaries. I respect other people's boundaries. I realize that everything in life ain't for me. And instead of me trying to squeeze and and bend and mold my personality to fit other people's narratives, I've decided to stand out on my own. Does that mean sometimes I may miss out on things? I might. But I've reached a point in my life where I'm cool with it because no protects my peace. No protects my boundaries. No keeps me out of obligations and situations that oftentimes would have not worked out in my favor to begin with. So no, I'm not selfish. And no, I don't worry about, missing out. Because if the opportunity presents itself again, then I'll be there. So how do we make that bridge to empowerment? Because here's the truth. Every time we say yes out of fear, guilt, or conditioning, we abandon ourselves a little. Oops, pull this up a little bit. Thank you. Okay. And every time we say no with clarity, we reclaim our peace, our focus, and our joy. So when we say yes, we give away. When we say yes, when we really want to say no, we give pieces of ourselves away. We extend ourselves out further and put ourselves in situations that oftentimes we look and go, I'm not supposed to be here. This isn't my calling. This isn't what I was meant to be in. But when we say no with truth and clarity, what we're saying is I reclaim my peace and my focus. Sometimes no is the bridge to empower myself. It allows for me, because I say this all the time, and it's the truth. You can't give what you don't have. If you don't have $20 and I come to you and I say I need 20 and you don't have it, but then you reach into your savings and you give me your last 20, then you're without money. So it's the same thing with emotions. If you don't have it, if you're tired, if you're extended, if you've been through everything this week, it's a drainful week, and someone says, hey, let's get up and go to brunch. Listen, I'd love to go hang out with y'all, but I'm tired. I need to rest. I'm emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially drained. That's okay. So let me share with you 5 reasons, because I like good steps. 5 important reasons to say no. Number 1, no protects your peace. Every no makes room for a deeper yes. Let me repeat that again. Every no makes room for a deeper yes. And what that means is when we say no to certain things, that expands our opportunity to have a deeper yes, to participate and choose the things that are going to bring us and the people we're doing it with joy. If I'm saying yes to everything, I'm not having I'm not having a deeper connection relationship. I'm not connected to this thing. But if I say no to some things, when the yes and the opportunity becomes, it's a deeper yes. It comes closer to the things that I want to do. It comes even closer to the people that I want to be around. It gives me an opportunity to have appreciation in that moment. So every no protects your peace. It makes room for that deeper yes. Number 2, no honors your energy. No is not selfish. It's sacred. Like I said earlier, a lot of people will say, well, she surely is selfish. She talks about that. But no, my self-care is sacred. There's only one Tracy. And if I'm too busy pouring out and giving it out to everybody else and I don't have anything left for me, then I'm not showing up as my best self. Then you, the people who follow me, my viewers, my friends, my subscribers, my readers, they don't get the best version of Tracy. They get a half-assed, tired, weakened person. So no, a no honors my energy. It gives me time to replenish. Good morning, Sabrina. It's all about peace for me. Y'all know I wear wigs. I'm just straightening this one up for some reason. It's not doing what I want it to do, but I'm still cute. Number 3, no creates clarity. No is not rude. It's real. When you say no, people say, oh, when people say, oh, she's being rude. No, you're being real. If I'm tired, if I'm overworked, if I need a moment for myself, that's not being rude. That's being real. And what has been very, everybody wants to have this thing of keeping it real. People only want to keep it real when they only don't want you to keep it real when it benefits them. When you say, well, I'm going to keep it real, I'm tired. Exactly, Renee. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. So if you're so busy saying yes, and I don't want to be rude. No is not rude. No is not rude. It's real. You are tired. You are fatigued. Or that just ain't your thing. Sometimes we say no. I'm not tired. I'm not worn out. It's just that's just not my thing. I'm not interested. Thank you, Sabrina. It doesn't mean that I dislike you, but maybe that's just not my thing. And I have a right to be real and go, I'm not interested in that. Thanks. Or no, I don't want to go to that place. Does that make sense? So when you say no, it creates clarity. People know where you stand, because I'm all about clarity. I'm all about, listen, my no's mean no's and my yes means yes. Clarity. Number 4, and this is the most important, one of the most important. No builds trust with yourself. No is how we honor our own limits. So when you have the ability to say no, you're telling yourself, I'm going to put you first. Like Renee said, I'm going to take care of myself. When I say no, I trust that I'm doing what's best for me. I trust that now I'm not going to be swayed by other people's emotions, or I'm not going to be caught up when other people want. I can trust myself. And that might sound like super easy, but it's a whole thing to trust yourself. Do I trust my judgment? Can I trust that I'm going to stand up for me and have boundaries for me when I need it? Or am I going to fold like a chair when the pressure comes on? No helps you affirm that trust in yourself. No says, I can trust that I'm going to put my best interest at heart. No means that I'm going to be a good person, but no means that I have the ability to say, I value my peace and my value, and I'm going to put me first for a second. So yeah, no helps you build trust with yourself. And 5, no open space to what truly nourishes you. No is love for ourselves and others who deserve our full yes. So when we say no to certain things, it allows to open that space for things that truly nourish us. Listen, if we say yes to everything, then we're not in a position where we're nourishing what really matters to us. It's no as a complete sentence. And but when we say yes to things, that we're oftentimes saying yes to things that really aren't part of it's not my ministry. This isn't what I'm about. Yeah, but that's not who I am. I'm only saying yes because I want to be included, or this fear of missing out. But that doesn't nourish me. That doesn't make me happy. Maybe other people are happy that I'm there, but that doesn't do anything for me. So when the last reason why it's important to say no is because no is love. Because it opens ourselves up to really invest and spend time with the people and the things that deserve our full yes and our full presence. I'd love for you to think about this. Where do you in your life need to practice saying no as a complete sentence? Drop it in the comments, because when we name it, we begin to claim it. And so it's 7:25, so I'm going to get ready to close, but busyness and demands will always come. There's always something that you can do. There's always someone who wants more of your time, more of your obligation. But remember, no is a complete sentence. It doesn't need an apology, an explanation, or a comma. Because no is sacred, it's protective, and it is powerful. And sometimes the most loving thing we can do for ourselves and others is to say no. Jump in the chat and let me know what you think about the gift of no, that no is a complete sentence. And again, this time of year, people are going to ask us to do things and step out and come to this party, participate in this, do that. If it's not something that's going to allow you to show up as your best self and make space for others, then why are you going? Is this part of your ministry? Them the words, Sabrina. Is this part of my ministry? Is this part of what I'm called to do? I know it, well, that doesn't sound, ministry sounds like big things. No, ministries are the small things. no matter what you believe. It's the small things in life. So if your presence isn't part of your ministry, if your presence or giving is not part of what you're called to do, you are allowed to say no. So I'm going to read from my book, Healing is Work. And I just wanted to read this for today. This is chapter 3. Small steps, sacred shifts. For so long, I thought healing would arrive in one sweeping moment, like a sunrise breaking through the night, flooding everything with light at once. I waited for that dramatic shift, the kind of change you could point to and say, that moment that turned everything around. But what I learned is healing rarely comes in those grand gestures. More often, it comes quietly, in the small steps, choosing to breathe instead of breaking, choosing to pause instead of push, and choosing to write instead of run. These steps may feel ordinary, maybe even significant, but over time, they create sacred shifts. Like the slow turning of seasons, change often happens so gradually, we don't even notice it. Winter softens into spring, not with a single blossom, but with 1,000 tiny stirrings, buds swelling, soil loosening, light lingering a little longer each evening. Healing is like that. It unfolds in increments so subtle that we miss them in the moment. But one day, we look back and we realize we are not the same person we once were. The ground has shifted beneath us. The air feels different in our lungs. What once felt unbearable has become something we carry with grace. Small steps are not wasted steps. They're the very bricks that build the path forward. Healing is not about speed. It's about faithfulness. Every time you choose presence over avoidance, compassion over criticism, rest over striving, you are shifting something deep within you. Think of a river carving its way through stone. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens drop by drop, flow by flow, until the landscape itself is transformed. Healing works that same way. This is from my book, Healing is Work. I have those 6 books. I'll drop the link in there. I'm very, very proud of my books. Again, they're small books, but they're meant to be companions on your journey. And next week is going to be a Freestyle Friday because it's the Friday after Thanksgiving, but it's also going to be small business shout out. So if you have a small business, if you have something, make sure that you share that with me so I can put in the link. Join me, promote yourself all through the show. I'm cool with that because, again, corporations aren't what makes communities. It's the small business. It's Michael Kors doesn't have anything in South Nashville except for the Green Hills Mall, but Sabrina Kimbrough has business right here that we can use. So I encourage everybody, if you have a small business, if you're send me the link, send me your website. It is going to be Shout Out Small Business next Friday. Okay. Today I'm going to give my 2 love notes. My first love note is for Robin Eason. She's a great friend of mine, South Nashville girl. And she asked a question yesterday on her page. And I thought it was a really good question. I'm not going to get into it, but I appreciate people who can ask hard questions. So for Robin, I respected that dialogue that you opened up, but also I just appreciate your great support of me and everything that you do. So shout out for Robin Eason. And number 2, shout out for my college roomie, Susie, Andre Starks Purcell. I love her. She's a great supporter of me. She's always been in my corner. And she's one of those friends, again, I ain't got to talk to her every day, but she know I love her and I know she love me. And I appreciate and respect her. So I just want to give a shout out to Susie. Love her too. And I love all of y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Whether you watch me live or you watch me later, know that I value and appreciate you. I hope that today you will say no to something that has been holding you back. Say no to it. trust yourself, and just say no. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Y'all take care.